All right, welcome back to Punches and Pundits. This is a different setting, as you lots can see. We're doing it remotely. UFC 304 literally happened a couple hours ago, and it's a madness. It's a madness. There's so much to talk about. We'll start off with the welterweight title, and it's changed hands now.
Listen. What did I
Yeah,
say?
no, you were right. You were right.
I called it. I said, listen, do not sleep on Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah,
Do not sleep on
in
Bilal
the
Muhammad.
previous podcast, I was mentioning that this is for Belal. This is the culmination of his life's work. By the way, I didn't even know he's 36 or 37. Like
No, he's not.
this was it. He was never gonna get
This
another
was
title
never.
shot if he lost.
Nah.
And
And listen, he absolutely deserved the title shot.
mm,
And I can't lie, that was the best version of Bilal I've ever seen as well. So it was a shock to me that he won, but it wasn't a shock to me at the same time as well because I know how good he is. The guy, he's on a mad win streak, 8-9 fight win streak. And I said going to the fight, Leon was doing all this talking, I want to fight Makachev. I
mm.
want to do this, I want to do that. His eye was not on the ball. He was looking past Belal Muhammad. And listen, at the highest level in the UFC, you cannot look past any opponent. And listen, Belal Muhammad looked amazing. His wrestling against the
From the get,
fence, it was,
literally from the get go,
bro, he was ragdolling him, getting his two hands clamped together and throwing him through the air. There was one point where he threw him, he
on
looked
his
upside down on his head. I mean, listen, it was an amazing performance, and you could see the work he put in with, Habib's camp paid
yeah.
off. I'm very, very happy for him.
From literally from the get go. I mean, Leon just looked. He looked off, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like if
Yeah,
you consider,
Leon for me though, I don't know. This is not reactionary as well, but he's always kind of struggled fighting backwards.
yeah,
You
yeah,
even
yeah.
look at the Kamaru Usman fight, where there was one where he knocked out Kamaru Usman as the rematch.
Mm.
The majority of that fight, Kamaru Usman had him backed up, and he
Against the
kind of
cage.
runs. Yeah, he runs out of ideas when he's moving backwards. On the front foot, he's an elite fighter, elite kickboxer,
Yeah.
But on the back foot, I mean, it was almost as if Bilal was the better boxer in there. Bilal was landing
Yeah,
some
no,
nice
it
jabs
was
as well.
what.
It wasn't just the wrestling.
Yeah, it was the pace, and the thing is, considering their matchup they had in 2021, you would have at least thought, cool. After that first round, he would literally act like it was a round two, press the pace, high kicks, punches, but it was just like you let Bilal pressure you, smother you, and his like willingness to be against the cage, like literally, all right, I'm against the cage, I'm just here. And Bilal, you just know that he's gonna throw punches and he's gonna shoot, and not one knee up the middle. You know this guy's
Yeah,
gonna shoot. You know this guy's gonna shoot. It's so predictable, and you're not throwing one knee up the middle. It like that could have been
yeah.
it, and also like, and then he waits until the last round to throw anything worthwhile, damaging that opens up Bilal. What like?
I just think on the back foot, he struggles quite a bit. And when he knows the fight is not going his way, he's not a guy that can kind of change the momentum of the fight. I know he did knock out Kamaru Usman whilst losing. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna say it was a lucky kick, but it was a
It is. It's a
it was
one. It's
it
a
was a
one.
good move, but it's a move that's not gonna come off. It's a one, maybe twice out of 10. Out of 10
Less than
times he
that.
lands that head kick.
The odds of that, like it's
Yeah,
once in
so
a lifetime.
yeah, I mean, listen, Bilal looked amazing on form.
Mm.
And listen, Dana White post-fight press conference is talking about we might not give Leon an immediate rematch.
No, no,
So
no.
my boy
It's still,
Shavkat is waiting, and Shavkat versus Bilal. Listen, Shavkat's my guy. I think Shavkat beats them both, but we have to respect Bilal Muhammad
we
after
have
his
to
performance in
respect
his last
Bilal
fight.
now. Yeah.
We have to respect him.
No,
And
100%. We
but
have to
of course,
respect.
going into the fight, I think Shavkat will be the slight favorite.
Yeah, I mean, we have to respect Bilal now. Like, obviously, you mentioned this. Like, this it does, and also Leon's like, oh, I didn't throw myself in there, and we heard that back. He was like, when he fought Usman the second time in Utah, he's like, I wasn't feeling myself. It seems like there's the possibility of Leon kind of having an off night. It's there, it's within him.
Yeah,
And I do think, as good as Bilal was very good yesterday. He stuck to the game plan, put the pace, and he basically said what he was gonna do. That he was never gonna knock out Leon, but he won a convincing decision. And
Convincing decision, fought very well on the inside and pressured him. His coaches done their homework. They watched the footage. They noticed Leon on the back foot is not the same guy as he is on the front foot.
mm,
And listen, from the jump, he pressured him. It wasn't like he was fighting outrage. He knows that at range, Leon is, I mean, a very hard guy to beat. But he
mm,
done his homework, pressured him, dirty boxing, mixed it with the wrestling. And listen, he held him down as well. Leon had some moments in the wrestling early on. He didn't
mm.
have any moments on the feet, which was very, very surprising to me. But
Yeah.
listen, the welterweight division has to keep moving. It's interesting they're not giving him the rematch. Maybe Dana wasn't impressed with Leon's
What do you
performance.
think?
Dana,
You think he would have deserved the immediate rematch?
I
Huh?
mean, because Shavkat's available, probably not. But Leon, if Shavkat wasn't on this run, you'd
Mm.
probably have to say Leon deserves a rematch because who else is there in the pipeline? But because Shavkat's around, who's on a mad win streak, undefeated, finishing everybody, we've got to get
So,
Shavkat in there. And listen, that's a good fight for the UFC to make as well.
so
But listen,
how do you think the welterweight division is going to play out? Because who does Leon fight? He said he wants another one by the end of the year. I said immediately thinking about it. I said, well, obviously Belal should fight Shavkat,
yeah, 100%.
Leon Edwards, Ian Gary.
Ian Gary is an option.
Big
You could
UK,
even, yeah, you could even do
JDM.
Gilbert Burns. Has Gilbert Burns been scheduled to fight somebody?
Yeah, he has actually. He's fighting Sean Brady.
Is that soon? Or
No, but even yeah, but Leon Edwards, Gilbert Burns is down in the rankings. There's a few people above him, so I'd say
yeah, you probably the Ian Gary fight. Stick that on one of the
and
undercard.
then JDM, considering depending on.
JDM, yeah, we don't know when he's gonna come back though in terms of
So
time
my
frame.
guess is Ian Gary, Leon Edwards. I mean, if I'm Ian Gary, I'm jumping at that former champion. Probably
100%.
will be the number one contender.
And listen, the way Leon performed last night, if Ian Gary can pressure him,
Mm.
bro, he could win, bro. Leon, and I'm not being reactionary, but I just wasn't impressed with him
Nah,
on
it
the
was
back
a
foot.
stinky one. It was a
He's not the
stinky.
same guy on the back foot. And we heard his coach again in the corner, animated, kind of, kind of trying to motivate him. I mean, listen,
Yeah,
you're a
yeah, yeah.
champion. We'll see on
The
the pound for pound
motivational
list.
gimmick. The
Yeah, like,
motivation.
bro, you shouldn't need that motivation. Like, you're the champion. You're one of the best fighters to come out of Europe. Listen, the world division has to keep moving.
And his takedown defense was shaky, considering compared to the one
Brother,
that we saw at the O2 against
I
Usman.
don't know if Belal became a
Can be.
demon wrestler overnight,
Oh,
but
I would.
I said as well, I made a point how, listen, Belal could win, but then again, is Belal a better wrestler than Kamaru? Leon didn't really struggle with the
Mm,
takedown defense against Kamaru,
mm.
but Belal looked like a different animal.
Oh,
The way he got
dumped him on
those,
his head. No,
he
literally.
dumped him on his head. He got his hands together. It was all doubles as well. You know how hard it is to get a double leg on Leon Edwards. He was tossing him in the air. It looked
No,
like DC versus Henderson at points.
no
Just
respect for Leon's takedown defense.
no
And
respect.
like going into that fight, I was like, how is Bilal gonna do what Colby Covington and Usman multiple times struggled to do? But we were proved wrong, and Bilal is the new 170-pound champion, which is nuts.
No,
But
insane, insane. Fair play to him. But listen, that weight class will keep moving. Another fight on the card. Another British fighter,
bro,
Tom
I called it.
Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. And listen, this guy looks unstoppable at the moment with a
Bro.
first round knockout win.
Mm,
Happy with performance, expected it, but I wasn't happy with his post fight interview once again.
really? Wait, we'll get
He,
into the
we'll get
we'll get.
into that, but his performance is just what he usually does. Amazing
I said
performance.
I said I expect him to buzz through Curtis Blaze. I
Yeah,
think
exactly that.
I said there's just like when we mentioned it. There's John Jones. If John Jones is 1A, Tom Aspinall is 1B, and then there's
He's
the
up there,
rest
yeah.
of the division. Curtis Blades wasn't gonna do nothing to Tom Aspinall.
He
You said
landed a few taps, he landed a few 1-2s. Interesting, he didn't shoot, but maybe he was saving that for
there's
later on.
there's
He
not
doesn't
a
want to
man
miss it, but
there's
it's
not
a
a man
disappointing again for him not to shoot.
yeah,
I know it was
there's not a man on this planet that can take Tom Aspinall's right hand. It's as simple as that. When he goes,
yeah.
and he's so fast, he's so light on his feet. When he doubles, he feints, boom, he lands the right hand like
He's good on the front foot, he's good on the back foot, he can counter you. Excellent grappler. He looks a problem, and he done exactly what we expected him to do against Curtis Blades, part of a statement. But I
Mm.
just think he should have done a bit more on the mic. he comes out and says, "Who wants to see the John Jones fight?" You know, Jones, I have nothing against you, brother. Call him
That's
out.
his personality, though.
I know, but is it this respect gimmick? It's not a gimmick. He actually is respectful, but come on, man, Jones ain't gonna bite at that. You want him to bite a
But
bit.
like, at the end of the day, when
I
he
mean,
said,
it's the only fight to make,
yeah,
but he has to come in. Listen, he's the guy. This is John Jones' toughest fight since what DC, since Gustafsson and DC. That it's
right,
that kind of level. His
mm,
rivalry with Gustafsson, his rivalry with DC, where he went into the fight thinking, "Shit, this might be the fight where Jones loses.
yeah,
This might be the fight where Jones loses." That
mm.
Aspinall fight is a tough fight, but
More
Jones
than
might
that,
surprise us all and come in and show him levels. But listen, we won't know until he gets in there.
to be fair, I think someone asked him, would you go for another fight? Would you fight, for example, the winner of Gane v Volkov? And he said, absolutely not. I've already had to defend my interim belt, which is always a strange position to be in. Which I'm trying to say. So he done that, buzzes through blades, and to be honest, like I know we've spoken about it before, but I have no hype for Jones v Miocic. I just don't have that much hype for
Yeah,
it.
you're not.
I
You're
think
not alone in that. You're not alone in that.
I would be shocked if Miocic looks good. I, he hasn't fought in what is it, 4 years?
Yeah,
And he's
4 years,
42, 43. There's
4 years.
no way we get a Miocic that fought DC or that fought all those heavyweights that we consider the best heavyweight of all time. We won't get that version of him. And
No,
I know,
it's a fight that I don't know. Maybe he's been promised as a legacy fight, but it's not a legacy fight. It's not. I mean, it's a legacy fight on paper, but come on, man.
but
Fight Aspinall. That's the fight where people will respect you if you win, not Stipe.
does
He'll beat Stipe, and I promise you, nobody's going to bat an eyelid.
yeah, no, literally. And does Jones fight Aspinall even if he beats Miocic, or does he like walk off into the sunset? Because his O could go at the stage of his career that Jones is at the stage that Aspinall's at, with the momentum, and he's just scary and he's just strong. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm,
Cyril Gane cannot wrestle. Do you know what I'm trying to
mm.
say? He's super deficient in that area, and John Jones was like, "Cool, I'm taking you down and I'm submitting you." He can't do that to Tom Aspinall. It's impossible.
No, I mean, but what he could do to Aspinall is dominate him in the wrestling. I think he's a better wrestler than Aspinall. In terms of grappling, Aspinall's good enough to not get submitted, but I think it'd be a case where an elite wrestler will just hold down the elite grappler. If
He
that
would
makes
have
sense,
to take
because
him into yeah, he would have to
yeah,
take him into the later rounds.
no,
Show him
100%, 100%. But I think we can both agree Jones is a better wrestler,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
think Jones will just, if Jones wants to win, I'm not saying he will win, but his route to victory is in the wrestling.
Mm,
Pressure, takedown, hold him down, maybe stay in the half guard, land your ground and pound,
mm,
and avoid the submission. Because I'm sure Jones has fought black belts before.
yeah,
One of the Brazilian guys he fought on the come up, Nogueira
yeah,
or
yeah,
whoever he fought, even Machida, I reckon, was a black belt. Guys who
mm,
can submit guys off their back. He's
mm.
fought these guys before. DC's not a scrub grappler as well.
No,
But
no.
what he does is Jones, he's good enough to avoid the submissions and he's an elite wrestler. So that's his route to victory. And I think Aspinall has been submitted before. I know he's a lot younger.
Mm.
He's a different guy now, 100%. But yeah, you know, I don't like the people that come out and say, "Oh, Jones is getting smoked," this, that. You know, they're a bit
No,
reactionary. They're forgetting who John Jones is.
mm.
You know, but listen, don't sleep on Jones.
But we
We're
need
not
to see.
sleeping on Aspinall, but we have to see the fight.
We
That's the
need
main
to,
thing.
but we also need to see John Jones how he looks against Miocic. He ruptured his pec. He hasn't been
Yes.
fighting for a while. I know
Yeah.
inactivity's never really been a thing for him because he could take
Yeah.
1 2 years off and then boom, he come. But
But it's
when it
different
comes,
at heavier weight coming off an injury. And I think that is one of the reasons why he's taking that Stipe fight. Just to brush off the cobwebs, see what the shoulder's like. You know, he did have major surgery to fix his
mm,
shoulder. He's not young. When you're older, it does take a bit longer to recover as well. So I think this fight here is just a feel-out fight, just to recover a bit. You can't go into a fight with Aspinall, I think, with so much at
but
stake.
they are
Coming
going
off
to
the shoulder surgery.
they're going to hype this fight like, oh, it's the greatest of all time against the best heavyweight of all time. Like
Oh, they
this,
have to. They have to. They have to.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but
But we know the deal though. We know the deal. But they have to promote it like that. But
so do
that's
you
the
feel
UFC.
so do you feel like there's not a world where the UFC are sort of inclined to strike while the iron's hot. The thing is, they've promised Stipe. They made the interim. They're gonna hold out, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just do not get John Jones v Miocic. There'll be an injury. There'll be something. I don't know if we get. I don't know if we get them in a cage, and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if either Tom becomes undisputed champ by default because, or
I mean,
either they do fight and then they say, I don't want to defend it, I'm going to ride off into the sunset. Both of them. I mean, that's a very viable option. Or one of them doesn't make it. I don't know. John Jones gets injured again long term. He has to be stripped. Like there has to be a situation where.
I mean, I'm calling for him to be stripped right now. I mean, there was talk of him having another incident where we may not see him at MSG as it was rumored to be. So I'd say strip him, let him come back and compete for the belt. But Aspinall's running out of opponents. Who's he going to defend against now? He's beat everybody.
Yeah, he has to wait out.
Aspinall now has to wait out. I know he doesn't like to wait out. He's had a lot of first round finishes. There's nobody for him to fight right now. He has to wait out and wait on that Stipe Miocic fight. And that Stipe Miocic and John Jones fight. He might even come into that fight as a backup fighter, which is very funny. We've never seen an interim.
Dana said he would. He said, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the interim champ
as a backup fighter is madness.
It's madness.
But that's madness. But the UFC have this blind loyalty to John Jones. Listen, I don't know. Dana White has his favorites. Yeah, Miocic as well, which is insane. But Dana White obviously has his favorites, which is interesting. But listen, speaking of Dana White and his favorites, speaking of one of the fights on the card, Mokaev versus Cape, which going into it was a madness. We saw the press conference. We saw the face-off before the fight. We were expecting fireworks, and it was far from it.
Bro,
a very lackluster fight. And Dana White has had enough. You hear what he said?
Literally, well, we'll start off here with like when you go at each other multiple times, physical altercations at hotels, at weigh-ins, at even when they weren't scheduled to fight, and then you're locked in a cage. Well, no, you get to the cage, and then you act like I can't even wait one more minute before I need to get my hands on him, and security have to come through in the cage. I've never seen that in my life like that. Two little flyweights just buzzing around, just going crazy. And once you get to it, it's all patient. I'm feeling it out. First 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think the moment got to both of them. Yeah, it was enough. It reminded me. It was shades of Ngannou with Derek Lewis. You know, we're expecting fireworks.
Romero
Adesanya.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at that fight thinking, how was it on the prelims? But I can't lie, it deserved to be on the prelims after what we saw. It was. It wasn't impressive.
I was like, when I saw the altercation within the cage, I was like, well, damn, someone's getting finished. Like, Mokaev's gonna run through.
Well, even before the fight, they're moving crazy. Like Mokaev's trying to jump on the fence. Then Dana White's looking at that and thinking, you know, these guys done all of that for what? Do you know what I mean? He doesn't like bluffers. And it's not a thing where he hates on wrestlers. I mean, he come out at the end. If anyone didn't see in a press conference, a post-fight press conference, he was saying Mokaev's contract's run out. We're not going to extend it. PFL are going to get a very young, undefeated fighter. Basically, they're going to bin him off. And it's funny because we were all talking about Mokaev becoming champion. He was talking about becoming the youngest champion in the UFC. I just think if you keep kind of humble, quiet, don't kind of go crazy, and you know, go in there, do your business in silence, perform like that. Dana's not going to do anything. But if you talk up a big game, you know, do all of that in the build up to the fight, throwing bottles and all of that, and show up to fight like that. Dana White's thinking, yeah, mate, I don't want you around. And you know, Dana's a ruthless guy. Dana's ruthless. He's got rid of people for less.
No,
I don't think he's bluffing.
The thing is like when you actually think about it, Mokaev is now 7-0 in the UFC at 23 years old. You would think everyone would be like, him v Pantoja, oh my gosh, it's going to be a movie. And he's not getting re-signed. The thing is, like you said, if you come with these antics where you're like, bro, I'm going to smash this guy, I'm from Dagestan, like, this is my life. And then to be fair, he looked decent on the feet.
Yeah, he looked improved on the feet. I was expecting Manal to dominate. But let me throw this question at you. Yeah, isn't part of it down to Manal as well?
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
Manel.
but it's almost as if Makayev's getting all the blame.
No. For the first 5 minutes, I mean, at least Mokaev was throwing leg kicks and
Exactly.
all of that. Cap was moving super tentative, and like he's another weird one as well. You don't know what you're gonna get with him. Do you know what I'm trying to
No.
say? You one
I
moment you see
yeah
this little guy just going at Adesanya, just moving mad,
yeah.
and then
We
the
don't want to
next
see
thing
that.
in the octagon, you're fighting someone the same way that you hate because after the fight they're blessing it like they're brothers. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm,
So then you wonder what the hell was that? You know,
yeah
the situation just reeked. It
yeah.
smelled.
Yeah. I mean, this doesn't do anything for the flyweight division. The flyweight division is a division where Dana and all the matchmakers they've tried to get rid of that weight class for a long time now.
Mm.
You know, it's almost like it was on the come up. You know, you've got Manal, you've got Makayev, you've got Urseg, you've got some talented guys on the rise. So for a fight like that to happen, for Dana White to essentially bin one of the most talented out of the bunch in Makayev, I know he didn't perform well, but he's still a talent, a young fighter, touted to become champion.
Mm.
This doesn't do well for the
It's not
flyweight
good look.
division. What other weight class would Dana White look at and bin a talented
A
contender?
7-0 23-year-old.
He wouldn't do that in any other weight class. So I think we might be going back to the days where people talk of get rid of the flyweight division.
The thing is, no
You
one's
know,
beating Pantoja realistically. Like whether you like it or not,
no,
this guy is just
it's just too well-rounded, and
yeah,
he's a
and
winner as well. He just knows how to win. He might
how
not
to
be
stand up
pretty
as
to
well.
watch. He
Yeah,
might not be pretty to watch. He might not be the
slick.
exciting, but he will win. And
Yeah,
that's what we
and
need to do.
well, now that I'm thinking about it, then you wonder like, I mean, Brandon Moreno's taking some time out. One win under his belt, he might be right there. Triple C's tweeting about maybe I should go back to flyweight. I don't think he could ever make flyweight again. I know
Yeah,
that's your guy. You mention him in every bantamweight conversation, but
yeah.
he's
No, I
he's
mean
tweeting
he might
flyweight.
have to move down. I mean, it's not looking good for him at bantamweight. I mean, he's rumored to fight. He's not even rumored to fight right now. I mean, he's just in limbo doing
He's
podcasts.
existing.
He's
Yeah.
a podcaster now, so he's yeah. Rob Font apparently he was about to fight Rob Font. They were in talks. That's kind of I don't know
Mm.
stalled a bit. So I don't really know where he goes from here in terms of at bantamweight. So I mean, he might have to move down. He might have to get on that diet. Start cutting that weight and go down to flyweight. But it's not a good thing to go down in weight, especially when you've got comfortable at a heavier weight class.
There's no way he can make
It's
flyweight.
it's not even good for your chin. So we
Yeah.
might get knocked out at flyweight. So going down in weight sounds good, but it's not always a
Yeah,
good thing.
we saw that with Dan Hooker when he went down
Dan
to
Hooker, a lot of fighters when they go down,
mm,
their chin doesn't hold up, and this is consistent throughout the UFC. Guys that go from lightweight to featherweight, guys that go from welterweight to lightweight.
mm.
It's not a good thing. It doesn't always work out. That's why I'm against Prohaska as well. Talking about going down to middleweight, I don't think it's good for your chin.
he would get
Stay,
chipped up.
yeah,
Yeah.
stay at that weight. There's no point. There's no need. And there's some heavy hitters at middleweight as well. But yeah, in general, I'm not a fan of that. But
Yeah.
let's continue with the card.
You
And,
forgot a very because Mukaev was way back, but Paddy the Baddy Pimlet is official
yeah,
a top
exactly, yeah,
and like listen regarding Paddy, yeah. If we go from the beginning regarding Paddy, he how can I say it? He came into the UFC. I remember I was watching it. It was at the Apex. Luigi Vendramini. He was
yeah,
getting tagged left, right, and center. I was like, wait,
yeah,
is this the guy who got all the hype with the Cage Warriors?
yeah.
Then boom, he knocked him out. I was like, cool. Then he goes through multiple submission wins at the O2 in the fight nights
yeah.
and that.
Then has a
Should have
questionable
lost.
performance.
Should have lost against Gordon. And
Yeah,
Gordon's a good fighter, man. He got done
yeah,
dirty the other
durable.
week again.
Yeah,
And then Tony Ferguson, I thought, do you know what? Paddy actually looked good until he got tired, yeah. So I was like, and by the way, when they entered the octagon, they didn't even look like in the same weight class.
he
Paddy
did a
is
massive.
huge.
He did a massive. He did a
He's a
massive.
he's a massive
Is
lightweight.
is a unit. Is a unit. But people forget with Paddy, he's always kind of had that weakness in the striking. He looked good last night, but in general, people were looking at it thinking, a guy who's a bit of a showman, talks a lot. They're expecting knockouts, but he was always a submission first guy,
Yeah.
even in Cage Warriors. So that was just people not doing their homework. coming into this fight here, I was very impressed with his distance management, and he had to be like that against a guy like Bobby Green, King Green, where we know he's got excellent defense and he's a good boxer. You could say he's still the better boxer, but he kept him at range, chopped at the calf, and he looked very good. And Bobby Green made a big mistake by shooting. I don't know why he shot, because it was a back and forth. Like they were both exchanging leg kicks, they were both exchanging jabs. Why are you gonna shoot? He didn't even before he even got the takedown. Paddy got him in the guillotine, switched to a triangle, kind of faked the armbar, then proper really transitioned into a tight triangle and got him.
Yeah,
and he poked him out unconscious. Very
next,
good.
but Green was sleeping, and like at the end of the day, well, first of all, Bobby Green's never been submitted, which is a strong feat for Paddy. He finished Bobby Green quicker than Islam Makhachev, which is crazy as well.
Yeah,
he was.
Bobby, I don't know. It's like Bobby and his team didn't do their homework.
No, I think there's no way.
I thought the best opportunity for Paddy to win was by submission. I said Paddy has to get this on the mats.
Yeah, 100%.
And Bobby Green has decent takedown defense. We're expecting a tough fight for Paddy. But I don't know what it was. Maybe he saw an opening. Maybe he was hurt. Maybe the calf kicks got to him. I don't know. But shooting was a big no-no when he done it. It wasn't a good idea. And listen, he got choked out punches.
For a veteran like Bobby Green, he is inclined to make certain dumb mistakes. Like you almost think like he lit up a joint in the backstage and got high and then went out. Because the thing is, during like in the first few exchanges, first of all, Paddy was super patient, landing the leg kicks. He was wary. Obviously, we all know Bobby Green style or King Green style. You know, he's like the hands are super low, boom, like the punches are coming from the hips. You have to be wary. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But it was literally like, do you know what that looked like? You know when you're in football and the defender doesn't stop you pass and you're the striker and you get a run on goal. That's what it was. Yeah. You go for a takedown against the better grappler, the better submission threat fighter. Cool. You don't get caught. I mean, if you would have got caught with the actual guillotine, that would have been something.
Yeah.
But where we have to give Paddy credit, it was slick. Don't have the guillotine. Boom, I'm moving into
off his back. Paddy has always been that guy. Paddy off his back is a guy. He's got that leg dexterity as well. He can go from triangle to guillotine to armbar. He has it all in his arsenal off his back. So this is a bit of a warning to the guys that are in the top 15 as well. You know, it's all fun and games. You know, Paddy this, Paddy that. You don't want to be on the ground with him. There's not a lot of fighters in that lightweight division that want to be on the mats with him.
What did you think of his call out?
I think it's a good call out, calling out Moicano. Of course, Moicano is scheduled to fight.
I don't think we're going to get the fight.
No, I don't think we will as well. He's already scheduled to fight.
I think BSD is going to beat Moicano, and they're not going to match him up.
Nah.
Who else is in the top 15 that could possibly fight Paddy? You know, I get the Moicano one because Moicano talks, and there would be a lot of hype. But I expect BSD to beat Moicano. Who else would be in the top 15? The thing is, cool. I mean,
listen, this might be a long shot. But Poirier's coming off a loss to the champion. Gaethje's coming off a knockout loss. So Gaethje can't really fight for the belt anytime soon. I'd say just give him a tough fight from the jump. Give him a Poirier or a Gaethje. And Moicano's already tied up with BSD.
What about this?
Dan Hooker, does he not have a fight schedule?
Dan Hooker's
it's finding Perth, isn't
it? Gamrot, yeah. How about Rafael Fiziev?
Fiziev a good fight. What about your boy Charles?
Nah.
I'm just looking at options like where they're not scheduled to fight.
Benil Dariush?
Yeah, but Benil. I don't know. Does Benil not have a? Is Benil not coming off a heavy knockout loss? Or
but Benil is still 7th. If I'm Paddy, I'm begging for Benil, and then you crack into the top 10.
But look, I don't think Paddy wants to fight those guys anytime soon. I think Paddy's just still trying to build.
You don't think...
Because it's evident with the call out. He's calling out Moicano. I mean, where's Moicano ranked? He can't be.
Moicano is a harder fight than Benil Dariush. Dariush.
I'd say maybe right now, but in terms of the guys Dariush has been in there with and the wins Dariush has got.
If they fought tomorrow,
I'd say Dariush is the tougher name on paper. A win against Dariush does more for his career than a win over Moicano.
I'm not sure.
In terms of who Dariush has been in there with.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
Moicano's not fought the best in the world. Dariush has been in there with how many people?
We've spoken about this, but like Moicano beats Dariush at this stage of his career. And BSD beats Dariush at this stage.
Yeah.
So for the fact that Dariush is still in the top 10, he's 7th, and Paddy Cool, you're going to be what, 14th, 15th?
I just think that run Dariush went on, he was on the brink of a title shot, and he made a mistake taking, I think it's the fight with
Charles.
He took a fight with Charles, and Charles dealt with him. But before that, he was calling for a title shot, and he was on a good win streak. We have not seen Moicano go on that kind of win streak. But in terms of right now, of course, he's not the same guy. But I'm talking, there was points where Dariush was what, top 4 lightweights in the world?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's almost as if he should be calling out Dariush because of where he's at in his career, Dariush, and for where Dariush was in his career, where Dariush was a top contender at one point. Moicano's never been a top contender at featherweight or at lightweight.
The thing is, I mean, if Paddy cracked the top 10, he's gonna have to fight some serious killers.
Yeah, listen, good performance against Bobby in Green, but now it's got real for Paddy. Now it's there's no looking back. Now there's no tune-up fights. You know, you've even got guys like Jaden Turner. I mean, he's coming off a loss, is he? I mean, I know he beat Bobby Green as well. They've got a common opponent.
Moicano beat him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can make that fight. I don't know if Paddy wants to get in there.
Paddy
took no damage. You could even stick Paddy in on the sphere card. He took no damage.
Yeah, but he's gonna go get fat.
Yeah, but to avoid that, and to be honest, going into this fight, it was the best shape we've seen him in, and I'd say it's the best we've seen Paddy.
Bro, he's huge for a lightweight.
He's a big lad.
Physically, I'm not even gonna lie. Like physically, he's probably one of the more imposing lightweights that we have.
Yeah, no, I couldn't believe it as well yesterday. I didn't notice how he's got a big frame and he's lengthy as well. What is he? 5'11", 6 foot. So
no, he's 5'10". 5'10", but
he looked tall. I don't know if Bobby Green is maybe just a bit short, but
he's just, you can tell he's strong.
Yeah.
He's got that grappler.
No, he looked good.
You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know. I won't go and say, like, if someone had a gun to my head and said, "Will Paddy ever challenge for the 155 belt?" I'd probably still say no. But he's ranked, and that's not a joke. To be ranked in the Shark Tank division, like 155, you have to be good. You have to have some serious skills. So, and to finish Bobby Green in the first round after Bobby Green was chatting the most over fight week.
No, it's a good win for him. Fair play to Paddy. We're kind of scheduling his next fights and things like that. We're not giving him his credit. A very good performance, and fair play to him. He's finally beating a ranked opponent, and it's almost an upward to him.
What did you think of Dana saying he'll never do the 100K bonuses? You know, when in the press conferences they ask, "I up the bonus." When the fighters say up the bonus, he said,
"Yeah, I mean, who got the bonus on last night's card?
Tom, I think, and Paddy.
Tom Aspinall and Paddy. He didn't give Belal a bonus,
but he probably took care of him. I'm not sure. I didn't actually see the bonus. I know that Tom definitely got the performance of the night.
Yeah,
but
I don't know, man. Maybe Dana's a bit of a weird one where, I don't know, he's got mood swings. I just think he was expecting a lot of finishes, a lot of knockouts, and he probably didn't live up to that. We're
fighting at 5, 6 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't do that, innit? Don't do that, but
I think
I'd say it was still a decent card, maybe not as many finishes as he hoped, but it was still a decent fight.
To be fair, we'll speak about the other two cards, 2 fights on the main card quickly. The RoboCop against Duncan, that was a solid fight. It was violent. RoboCop used his jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Considering he came in short notice, you know, that was impressive. I've always had high stocks. And Duncan's a good striker, but there is deficiencies within his wrestling. And I thought that was a really good win for RoboCop on short notice. But the other fight that I want to talk about was obviously the fight that opened the main card that has decent ramifications regarding the featherweight division. You know, when it's a top 10, top 5 sort of matchup, Arnold Allen coming off 2 losses. You know, when I watched the first round, I was like, because I was rooting for Allen. I was like, do you know what? I like him. He was very the Evloev fight was touch and go, with the knee situation, and then, you know what I'm trying to say. So the first round goes, I'm like, Giga's landing the kicks. He probably won that round, but the last 2 rounds, the pressure from Allen, the way you could tell he wanted that win. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You could tell.
And Giga's not some scrub. Giga at one point was one of the top contenders at featherweight. Of course, Calvin Kattar kind of derailed him a bit, but Giga's always been a tough guy to fight at range as well. So it's a very good win for Arnold Allen, and an impressive win. And listen, Arnold can put his name in the mix in terms of being one of the top contenders in that weight. And the featherweight division is an exciting division. It's got a lot of good contenders. Where does Giga kind of go from here? It's a tough one for him,
Yeah, he's probably gonna have to.
I mean, he's gonna have to accept that kind of gatekeeper role a bit early now. But but he's still a good fighter, Giga. I mean, Giga's
he gets tired.
In terms of technically, he gets tired and he can't fight on the back foot, which is a common theme for these.
That's what I'm trying to say. When Allen was pushing him, like,
they're not the same guys. These kickboxers, the straight jab, 1-2, left high kick or low kick, calf kick. When you pressure them and kind of take their kicks away, we saw it with Leon a little bit. Of course, Leon's a different level, but it's almost if you strip them from if you strip the leg kicks away from them, and you pressure them, it's almost if they don't know what to do. It's almost like unknown territory. I don't know. Maybe they train on the front foot all day long, but they're just not used to it. Putting them against the only kickboxer that's a good, I'd say right now on the back foot as well, would be Wonderboy. Wonderboy's a different. He's different level, isn't he? But the rest of these kickboxers.
I mean, regarding Leon and whatnot, you'd think Leon would have landed something substantial to let Belal know. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't do this to me.
It's almost as if Belal was the one that was landing the punches. Belal was the one that had to
in the striking and the wrestling.
And the wrestling. It was a dominant win. I'd say Leon only won one round that fight.
No, he did. He won
the round where he held him down for most of the fight, but most of the round, I mean. But yeah, that was a good win.
Maybe the fifth, considering the damage in the last minute, but that's being very generous.
That's too little, too late, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then I think Allen called out Yair Rodriguez, which would be a fight I wouldn't mind watching. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, good call out, and it's very cool actually. Yair is another kickboxer. He's probably good on the back foot as well. So yeah, that's a good one. I mean, the featherweight division. I mean. Yeah, you've got Brian Ortega Lopez fighting.
We can dabble into some of the announcements we got. Obviously, they rebooked Ortega v Lopez at featherweight, so Lopez is going to get his wish at the Sphere.
That's the boy Lopez. It's a fight. Listen, that's been rescheduled. Lopez. A solid win against Ige. Very much
4 hours notice.
4 hours notice dealt with him. But this is a fight. Dana White kind of giving Ige a fight on that card as well, which is good for Dana White. The Ige's probably got a lifetime contract. We're talking about guys getting released from the UFC.
Ige didn't get the Sphere. He's not on the Sphere card.
He's not on the Sphere.
No,
maybe he hasn't announced it yet. But they announced the full card?
They announced the whole card. There's only 10 fights.
Why didn't he give Ige a fight? He promised it.
Ige's come out and said, "Listen, it's not on. I'm not pissed at Dana or whatever. They made. I can't lie. They mainly did put a lot of Mexicans on there, which is understandable, innit? But people are like, why the hell is there a Dan Osborne on the Sphere card when you're hyping it up to be a once in a lifetime sort of situation?
Yeah, I mean what is it? It's a main event. The main event's O'Malley, Marab. You've got Grasso, Shevchenko on that as well.
Yeah,
I mean it's a good card. That main event, of course, an excellent fight. A fight that has to be made.
The top 3 fights are really good. The top 3 fights are really good. They are.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I reckon they would have tried to squeeze McGregor Chandler in there because it's a Sphere, it's a one and done.
McGregor,
but it's because McGregor's pinky is probably not recovered yet. He's still kind of carrying that injury. But if McGregor was fully healthy and fit to go, that's an easy main event. Co-main O'Malley, Marab. That would be.
I think McGregor could fight earlier than December, but I just feel like they'll wait.
Yeah, no, now we know the extent of his injury in it, but if it wasn't a big injury, that would have been a good fight on that card as well. Just to stack it up as a one and done, do you know what I mean?
And to be fair as well, I don't know. Do you remember we spoke about, did they stack it to the point where we had Topuria, Max and Sean, but they didn't go down that route.
Yeah. Don't know, but
And
Topuria Max seems like it was happening now, but just not on that card.
Max v Topuria will be 307 in Utah, I
Mm.
believe, which apparently they've signed all the contracts and whatnot. So it's just that's gonna happen. You know how Ilya
Mm.
was like, I've had to force Max to fight. And what planet do you have to force Max to have a fight, bro?
Yeah, yeah.
There's
No,
not a
that's just
dimension.
talking. That's just mind games. We know. Listen, Max Holloway will fight anyone. It'll be interesting though. If Topuria wins, does he get the BMF belt as well?
No,
It'll be interesting.
it will be
But
straight.
yeah, it should be straight undisputed. I know, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Um,
What did you
but
think? If you had to grade the UFC 304, the card, what would you say? I thought it was a bit.
yeah, I
It
mean,
was like
it
7%
wasn't. Yeah,
in a row.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd say give it maybe I don't know a C plus, B minus maybe.
Yeah, like a 6 out of 10 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, C plus, maybe 6
Did
out
you
of
did
10.
you think the timings did play a factor or no?
I mean, it definitely did for probably the
Leon,
British fighters. Leon,
but then
he might come out the next few days. I know his team might come out
he
and
did
say, yeah, the
already.
time
He
has
did
messed
already.
us
He
up.
was like, I wasn't feeling myself, but I'm not gonna make an excuse. You literally made an
I mean,
excuse.
he already made the excuse, but yeah, I mean, you could say it is because listen, especially training UK time, he's not training at 6 in the morning. I don't care what anyone says.
Mm.
He might be waking up early, but he's not training and sparring heavy rounds at 6 in the morning. He's not doing that.
It ran over as well. The
Yeah,
thing
and
is,
when they're fighting in the US, they go a few weeks out to acclimatize, get used to the times out there.
mm.
Even then, they're probably training 9 p.m., 10 p.m. What is it in the US when they do the Vegas cards? US time. It's probably what 11 p.m. midnight ring walk.
Yeah.
So
It's not
yeah,
6.
this is a very foolish move from the UFC. I don't know why they done it. But
To
yeah,
accommodate to the American
yeah,
pay-per-view,
but
bro. The
yes,
thing is,
I
yeah,
don't
when
like
you
it.
actually think about it now, if it played that much, if it had that much of an impact, you lose a British champion. So you've lost a British champion, and now the champion is someone. I
It's
mean,
not as marketable.
do you know what I'm trying to say? Like now, Belal is your welterweight champion. Cool, you're rubbing your hands in the sense where cool, this has happened. We have to deal with it. Let's hope we get Shavkat. But I
And they
mean,
also lose. Remember, we also spoke about it. There was talk of Makachev going up in weight. That's gone now. Makachev's not fighting Belal. So that
he would fight.
option he had,
He would fight Shavkat though.
right, he'd fight Shavkat, but that Leon Makachev fight would have been a very, very good fight as a step up for Makachev going up to
I feel
170.
like Belal will be
But
way more. Belal
they've
will.
lost that fight completely. They've lost that fight completely.
Yeah.
That fight is gone now. So, I mean, Bilal and Islam are pretty much mates. They're friends. They train together
Yeah.
now and again.
I
So
feel
that
like
fight's not happening.
Belal will be way more active than Leon though. What
Yeah,
sort
that's another thing with Leon. I think that's another reason why Dana's not giving him a rematch as well. He's too inactive.
yeah, he just chills
He's too
off.
inactive. Yeah, he just what is it? He chills off too much.
Do you
He
think
was
that's
doing all that talk as well, saying, "Yeah, Bilal doesn't deserve a rematch." Completely dismissing him. All this headshot dead as well. Come on, man. One knockout. I think he's only got how many knockouts does he have in the UFC?
not many?
Who's he headshotting? Come on, let's be real. Like, it's just
Yeah,
let's be
it
real, man.
started.
You're not. You know who's the real headshot dead? You know who's the real headshot dead? My boy
Shafkat.
Shafkat, bro.
Yeah,
That's the real headshot dead, bro. That's the
bro.
real headshot dead.
By the end of the year or big first quarter 2025, you really might have your boy with a. You
Listen,
might
it's
see that
coming.
fight.
It's coming. It is coming. I'm telling you now. I'd say early 2025, maybe
Said
December 20.
Belal might want to fight before that.
Yeah,
Why not?
but yeah, I mean Shafkat's been a bit inactive as well, hasn't he? So Shafkat probably want to get
Well,
in there.
he tweeted and he was like, "Listen, congrats to Belal. I'm here. Let me know the time and date,
That's
and
it.
we
Easy.
will
That's
go."
an easy fight for the UFC to make. Easy negotiations. But listen, one last thing that I want
Yeah.
to talk about: Nick Diaz versus Luque. What's going on with that? Apparently the fight's off.
I told
Out.
you. I
Apparently the
told
fight's off.
the moment I heard it was scheduled for those parts of the world. Yeah, what was it? Abu Dhabi
Yeah.
or Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia, no? Or I can't remember. But
Yeah. No, I think
I
it's
was
Saudi.
like,
Yeah.
this man is too addicted to. Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
way. Once he heard the laws,
Yeah.
like how strict they are.
He can't have his pre-fight split.
Yeah,
It's
literally, bro.
but even that card, I mean, you've got Sanhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. a good fight. And Umar came out. Umar came out and said, "With a win over Sanhagen, that's me getting a title shot." And who can argue with him?
It
Who
is.
can argue with him?
For a true like mixed martial arts fan, that Topuria v Max and maybe a couple other matchups, technically, I am expecting it's gonna blow my mind. Umar v Sanhagen is probably. I have such high hopes for that fight. It's
Amazing
impossible.
fight. It's what makes MMA such an amazing sport. A real clash of styles. An elite wrestler versus an elite striker. But it's MMA. Umar's not a scrub on the feet, and Sanhagen's not a scrub in the grappling as well.
Umar's knocked people out. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, that's what I'm saying. But no, 100%. They're very good everywhere, but you've got to give Umar the edge in the grappling, and you've got to give Sanhagen the edge on the feet as well.
Yeah.
But it's a real clash of styles, and it's also experience versus an up-and-coming fighter. It's a real test for Umar as well to see where he's at.
Yeah.
Is he championship caliber? With a win over Corey,
100%.
he can literally call for that title shot as well. And you've got so many options for him as well. If Marab beats O'Malley, imagine Marab versus Umar. That would be amazing. And if O'Malley wins, imagine O'Malley versus Nurmagomedov.
Oh yeah, but even O'Malley.
And if Sanhagen wins, O'Malley versus Sanhagen, even Marab versus Sanhagen.
That striking matchup was amazing.
I say it every episode, the bantamweight division is the best division in the UFC. It's the best division in the UFC.
That and lightweight, but right now I'd probably say bantamweight as well. I can't lie. So, literally, that's UFC 304 wrapped up. It was a slightly underwhelming. We've lost a British champ. I mean, Edwards' legacy. People are going to be like, brother, you lost to Belal. Like, you might have been Usman and you might have beaten Kobe, but you got dumped on your head.
But then, you know, I see people on Twitter saying, you know, oh, Leon wasn't that good. Leon was good, and he still is good. But Belal was also good. And people don't want to accept it. People do not want to accept that Belal is one of the best fighters in the UFC. And listen, don't sleep on Belal. Don't sleep on Belal.
He's going to be on the pound for pound list.
He's up there. He has to be there now. But he's fighting a real demon in Shavkat now, and I expect Shavkat to win. But it may be the fight where Shavkat wins by decision. I'm just putting that out there. Do
you think Shavkat finishes him?
He might not be able to finish him. He might beat him by decision. Belal just impressed me so much last night. I couldn't believe it.
You're saying the man who's got the same amount of submission wins and knockouts is not going to be able to finish Belal?
It's just Belal. It's just Belal for me. He keeps surprising me.
He's got a massive head.
He's got a massive head, and he's got massive pressure in the fights, and he's got a very good jab, and he has a demon double. That double's not going to really matter against Shavkat. He's not taking Shavkat down. But he is a lot better than expected, and he's a scrapper. He can get up close and really, you know, pressure guys. You know, he's not there to tap you and all of that. He's a real scrapper. Belal's a real scrapper. He's a good fighter.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's UFC 304 review. So we're doing it slightly different. We've done it remotely. This is going to be kind of the norm for the next couple episodes for sure. We'll be posting the clips all over social media on Punches and Pundits and whatnot about the things that we discussed. Loads of different videos as well. We'll be posting. We'll be active on the YouTube. Mo might do some videos. I'll do separate videos and stuff. So we'll have the channel moving. So yeah, peace out. We'll catch you lots later in a bit.